It took only 48 hours for this whole plan, this whole proposal, this whole concept to just, it just crumbled, you know? It just started with, I believe, Man City and Chelsea just withdrawing, and then all clubs started dropping. It was like a whole domino effect. It's so crazy that the pressure of the fans actually worked, and it did something, and it showed that football without the fans is literally nothing. And I am proud to say I'm a football fan, you know?
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
In all of this mess and chaos, the dude from Tottenham, Mr. Levy, he decided to sack Jose. He tried to sneak that in, thinking no one was going to notice. A week before the cup final. That's just cold, man. Unless you're Patrick Starfish living under a rock, you know that the last few days in terms of the football world have been absolutely madness. But not just madness, but also something historic, because we saw the power that the fans hold, and it was incredibly amazing and beautiful to see, because we love and we care for the sport, and it just shows the passion that the fans have, and that was absolutely amazing. Whether it was some of us typing on the internet voicing our opinions, or fans that actually went to the stadiums to protest and let their voices be heard, it was all so amazing, and so far we won, you know? The Super League, man, I don't know. Super League versus UEFA and FIFA. Money versus money, or football versus money. We should also remember that FIFA and UEFA are not as innocent. They're also quite corrupt. They also like money. They should not be given the moral high ground on this. You know, we could look at it and say maybe this whole uproar and anger from them is because their money would have been threatened because, you know, direct competition, or it's generally because, you know, they just don't want traditions and the sole purpose of football to be disrespected and disregarded. You could look at it both ways. So the European Super League, the Super League. So what is it? In short, I'll just describe it. But if you want a more detailed description, I'll leave the links in the description below where you can get some, you know, detailed explanations. But basically, it was going to be founded by 12 clubs, the founding clubs, and these clubs could not be promoted or relegated. They basically have a permanent membership to this whole tournament, and nothing can happen to them. You could literally finish first, or you could literally finish fast.
What did you say?
Yeah, nothing will happen. You still get paid for just being there, you know? And the problem with this was people saw it as a closed shop, but it's also very elitist, and it takes away all forms of competition. That was the main issues with this whole concept that they had in mind. And Florentino Perez argued that it's not really a closed shop because you have 5 teams that will be rotated in and out every season, right? But it was still a little bit sus because you still have these 12 teams that are there and every single year, no change to them. They are untouchable, and they just keep getting richer, well as the other 5 teams that keep rotating in and out are not getting the same amount of financial benefits. So that was the main issue with that it was driven by selfishness and greed, and just clubs that are just solely interested in money and nothing about football. I will be honest, I really liked the idea of a Super League, right? But I only saw it as a short-term solution or a short-term project, because seeing matches like Juve and Barcelona is stuff that are like magical. We get excited for it when we see it once or twice a year, and I feel like seeing so many big matches every week, it just gets boring. And so then we won't have the same amount of excitement, the same amount of, I don't know, you know, that Champions League feeling when you know, oh my word, Barcelona, Juve, Man United, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern, you know, that type of excitement. The Super League was going to take away the magic and the rarity of seeing, I hope that is a word, I hope rarity is a word, I'll check that. But yes, of such matches, right? Because if then that becomes boring, what is football? You know, what becomes of football? And also, let's not forget the smaller clubs that are left out, you know, like clubs from the Championship, or just smaller clubs in like the Prem, Serie A and La Liga, you know, they also benefit a lot from the big clubs competing. And the beauty of football is expecting the unexpected. You literally, who would have thought like Aston Villa would beat Liverpool 7 or whatever? No one. Who would thought Sheffield would be beating Man United? You don't get to see such precious and exciting and unpredictable moments in the Super League, right? Because you have so many big clubs and it's just them, they are on top of the mountain looking down on the other clubs, and that's just not cool. And if they get to perform there midweek every week and they get paid so much money for just being there, and if they got to still play in the domestic leagues, they will not give the same amount of energy and passion and care in their domestic leagues than they would in the European League. So it just takes away so much out of football. It drains so much out of football, right? And it's just one of the reasons why I didn't like the Super League in particular. It just takes away unpredictable moments, shocking moments, moments where other teams get the chance to do the unexpected, do the impossible, you know, like we expect teams like Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, all of them to do wonderful things, but every now and then you get small chances of teams like West Ham and Everton potentially, I don't know, doing the impossible, and that's just what we would not be seeing if the Super League had went on, right? Speaking about the Super League, I don't understand how Tottenham and Arsenal got into this whole conversation. I just want to know who said what. What was the conversation that went on that allowed these two teams to be included in the Super League? Like Tottenham have not won anything in forever's time. And Arsenal have not been in the UCL since, like, I don't know, the Stone Ages. I believe Atletico and Man City have not won the UCL, if I am not mistaken, but I stand to be corrected on that. So that was a bit also kind of suspicious how Tottenham and Arsenal just wormed their way into this whole 12 founding clubs that are so elite, above and beyond the rest. Like, we know teams like that are already huge, you know, Arsenal and Tottenham aside. Something should be introduced to like help clubs manage their money better. And I get why this whole concept of the Super League came up to begin with, because I know they're not happy with the prize money that the UEFA Champions League winner gets, or just participating in the UCL. And big clubs spend so much and they have bigger costs, I guess, and they get so little from like the UCL. So I can see why they started the whole competition. But also, if maybe it was a bit more open, maybe if it was a bit more competitive and fair, maybe people would not be reacting so negatively, and it would have not gotten as much backlash as it did if it was just more planned to be more inclusive. And when the whole Super League thing was proposed, a lot of people were against it. If not a lot, maybe 100% of people were opposed it. If not 100, maybe 99.9%. And then it was when Florentino had the whole interview and he basically, I don't know, gave more details. Then you started seeing the football community a bit divided. Some people saying yes to the Super League, some people saying cancel the Super League, no to the Super League. And with me, the only pro, you know, the only positive, I don't know if I can call it a positive, the only thing I liked, you know, that would have made me say yes, Super League, you know, I'm not saying that at all, would be the fact that you get to see these big matches, these big clubs going at it more often. But like I said, it just gets boring and we don't want that. And I feel like had this gone on and FIFA decided to ban all these players from so many things, it would have made football suffer a little bit, because also the Super League was not meant to replace all of football, like domestic league and all of those extras like FA Cup, Carabao Cup, you know, Copa del Rey, and all the things that we have. It was, I think, mostly to replace the UCL, and the teams could still participate in everything, but FIFA did not want that. FIFA and UEFA did not want that. So that was something else that was attractive to me for the Super League was that it's a midweek competition and that's it, you know. It's not meant to replace much. But then again, like I said, if it had taken place, then efforts in other competitions would have been way low, because they would have been like, I'm still in Europe, I get so much money, why should I care? The only nice thing, you know, I can say about Florentino Perez in this whole situation is that he was the only one that put himself out there to advertise, propose, and put this whole idea out there, you know. No one else have done that. He was alone and he took most of the heat, and you have people thinking that he's to blame, Real Madrid is to blame. No, Real Madrid is not to blame. They're just like any other clubs that were supposed to be the founding clubs of this whole thing. And again, players and managers not involved, literally just the owners of this whole thing. So kudos to Florentino Perez for being the one to do all of this while everyone else hid behind him. So yeah, I just saw more cons / negatives to it than positives. So that's why I was a bit against it. Like I said, in summary, it takes away competitiveness, it hinders small clubs so much, it's just elitist, and that's just not good. It disrespects and disregards the culture and tradition that football founded for so many years, and it's just, they're just turning football into, it's already a business, but they're making it more obvious, and they just self-serving, which is just that's not it. And that's why I'm just like, nah, that's my president, but with this I am leaving you and I am not supporting you, Mr. Florentino Perez. And he was not the only one, you know. You have the owners from Juve, from Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Atletico, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, Man United, Liverpool. You know, all these people are all involved and are all to blame for being selfish and greedy. So yeah, let's just hope it never goes through, and if it is reproposed again, let's just hope it's less selfish, it's more accepting to the fans. I don't know how they'll do that without taking away the UCL, but we'll just see what happens in the future. But I say it now, it's not the last you're gonna hear from Florentino and friends. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you want more football and gaming content, specifically FIFA. And till next time.